Hi, folks. This is Chuck Mott, and I am a live looper that has been gigging with the BOSS RC500 for a few years, and I just thought it might be helpful to some people. And I posted this as a Facebook post also, which I'm going to probably refer to throughout the video to make sure I hit on all the points that I wanted to. But So I've been using the RC5 BOSS RC500 for live for a few years now, and here's some things that I've discovered. And largely, what I want to talk about is like using the verse chorus setup on the RC500. You can do it, you can set it up, and a lot of times it will work for you. But there's some reasons why I don't do that all the time, and I'm gonna start with that before I get into other stuff. So basically what I was trying to do with like multi-part songs is go ahead and do like the guitar and the bass uh, on for a verse on one track and a guitar and a bass for on a chorus track, like for example. And here's kind of what I'm finding out and why I gravitate away from that a lot of the times or whenever I can put it that way. Um, is that it is very hard to keep both those parts in sync, and it doesn't seem to matter what you do. And I can't find like a complete total fix, even when I think I've got it fixed. I still have a couple songs that kind of go wonky on me throughout the evening. And then I was thinking, well, how do I make that work? How do I make that work? How do I make that work? And it just kind of occurred to me lately, and it seems to be working a lot better, a lot smoother. Nobody seems to miss anything. Is just like, you know what? Just don't do it. I figured out a way, and you can do this by turning like loop stop off. Um, so I have my drums, a couple different settings for my drums. I have a stop and a start for my drums, and a variation. And basically, I you can set up the drums to continue to play by keeping your loop stop off. And I'll do a separate video on where to find that because I can't think of how to explain that to you right now, and probably not really the point of this video anyway. Um, but basically, I set up my drums, and I can play my variations anytime I want. And these days, all I'm doing is just recording on one track, one part on one track. And when I want to do another part, I will um, turn the drums, or I will hit all start, turn everything off, but my drums keep going so that I continue to play through the chorus, and then I can do as many parts as I want to, doing it that way, and I don't have to worry about it, and I keep the looping stuff to a minimum. So, for example, on the song where you might be soloing over the verse, sure, go ahead and record your verse part, but you don't need to do, um, for example, both parts in that situation. In other words, you don't need to record a second part. You don't have to worry about um, it drifting out of time. You don't have to worry about, okay, well, how do I? It's a lot. It takes some work to really kind of put the verse on here, and then the bass, and then the chorus, and a bass on the chorus. And I don't worry so much about that anymore. More I worry about just kind of adding some variations in there, and just kind of playing over the chorus and not worry about looping it. It seems to be a direct, simple approach to doing multi-part songs like that. Um, so that's kind of how I do it these days, and I'm finding out that it just works better, it flows better, and a lot of times it's just better for a lot of reasons than trying to do verse on one track, chorus on another track part. Do I still have songs like that? Yes, they're getting fewer further between, and it's going to be reserved for in the future for when I absolutely need to have bass on a track for multi-part songs. Now that said, it's relatively easy to do to if a part is simple. For example, a song called "Sex on Fire" is E and C sharp minor, and there's no changes in the rhythm parts all the way through. And basically, I will just kind of use the one track um, and record everything on the one track. And because it's so simple, I can quickly add in a bass line there. And then songs like that, I have several of, I do that. Um, yeah, so it's relatively easy to set up like that. Oh, and another thing is when I'm adding I'll use that song as an example. There's a part in the chorus that goes where there's a second guitar line playing a melody like da 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 kind of thing. I have my a MIDI pedal set up to do a track one undo and redo. So I could go ahead and record that part, hit undo, get into the verse, and it doesn't it doesn't play that part. When it comes back to the part again, the chorus, I hit undo, redo, and it kicks it back on. So, but anyway, so that's how I'm using it these days. And sometimes I even just use it as a drum machine. I'm just kind of playing along with a rhythm part, and it's not necessary for me to record anything. Um, so there's that. And I have some songs I do that way. I have a couple songs left a few uh, that I still do the verse chorus thing on. And then others I can just kind of do record a one move maybe for the verse, and then turn everything off. I've got the drums continually playing, and then I can just kind of play through the chorus part rather than looping it, turning it back on, and all that sort of stuff. So I hope that helps. That seems to work the best for me. I hope this was helpful to some people. So feel free to subscribe, feel free to ask any questions you might want to ask, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye bye.